supporting from afar. And you know, my daughter Riley is going to be on a new show coming to Bravo, Next Gen. They just announced it last week. Yeah, so I hope you guys support my daughter Riley Buruss. Y'all seen her grow up on the Real Housewives, and now she's going to be on a new show. It's coming June 3rd, so check her out.
What tips did you give her about entering? I mean, obviously she's a part of reality television in the past, but to a different level.
Yeah, it's a different level, and so I told her, when you're filming, stand on everything you say. Don't ever go back and try to act like you didn't say something so they can rewind the tape on you.
Roll the tape.
You have to own it, stand on it. And if you need to apologize, but don't lie about saying stuff. Because we be having a lot of liars on those shows, you know. We don't want to be, no.
You won't believe what just came to light. This isn't one of those random gossip stories that fade away in a few hours. No, this is the kind of revelation that makes people stop and rethink everything they believed about reality television, family loyalty, and what goes on when the cameras stop rolling. It all started with a single post. Just one. But it wasn't the type of casual update you see every day on Instagram or Twitter. This one was different. It came from Riley Buruss, yes, the daughter of Kandi Burruss. Now, Riley has always been known as private, calm, and mature. She's not the type to get into messy drama or air out family issues online. That's why when her post hit the internet, it sent shockwaves through her followers.
If you don't know, my mom was originally on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I've been featured on Bravo a few times, but this is my first time being the main character.
Her words were simple, but they carried heavy meaning. The people who silence your truth the loudest are sometimes the ones closest to you. No names. No tags. No direct accusations. But people didn't need them. Everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. Within minutes, the post was deleted. Vanished, as if it had never been written. But by then it was far too late. Fans had already screenshotted it. Blogs had reposted it. Social media was on fire with theories, debates, and speculation. And the silence that followed? That made things even more powerful. Because here's the thing Riley didn't explain herself.
It's been about a year since you announced you were leaving Housewives. Did you have any FOMO or regret knowing cameras were back up, or is it all that chapter is closed and you've moved on?
Actually, I feel like it's closed for me and I moved on. I thought to myself when I was first making the decision, I was kind of like, ugh, is this smart? Like, am I doing the right thing? And anytime you've done something for 14 years straight, it's kind of like hard to walk away from it.
She didn't backtrack. She didn't say, oh, you guys misunderstood me. She left it exactly as it was, and that silence spoke louder than 1,000 words. Immediately, questions filled the air. What went wrong between Riley and her mother, Kandi? Why would she feel the need to express something so heavy in public? Was this just a moment of frustration, or was it years of bottled-up emotions finally spilling out? Anyone who has been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta from the beginning knows that Riley has been on screen for years, growing up in front of the cameras. Viewers noticed her shyness, her distance, and sometimes even a look of discomfort when interacting with her mother. It was always brushed off as normal teenage behavior. But now, looking back, fans are connecting the dots. Maybe those weren't just awkward teen years. Maybe Riley was trying to show us something deeper all along. This wasn't the story of a rebellious daughter acting out. This was a young woman finding her voice after years of staying silent. For a long time, Riley appeared to be in the background. On the show, she often looked like she didn't quite fit into Kandi's world of fame, cameras, business deals, and glamorous events. It wasn't that she didn't love her mother, it was more that she seemed out of place. And now, after her cryptic post, people are realizing she may have felt invisible all along. Fans started digging. They remembered moments when Riley looked disengaged, uncomfortable, even sad. Those weren't just teenage mood swings. They were signs of something bigger, something that had been kept carefully hidden from the public. So, why did Riley finally speak out now? What was the breaking point? Was this a cry for help, a moment of bravery, or simply the release of years of pain? The answer, at least from what Riley's message suggests, goes goes much deeper than people ever imagined. Behind the polished image of Kandi Burruss, the successful businesswoman, the songwriter, the reality TV star, was a daughter who felt neglected and overlooked. Riley hinted that her truth had been silenced for years, especially by those who should have been protecting her the most. And this wasn't about money or fame. Riley wasn't complaining about material things. She was pointing to something more painful: emotional neglect. In leaked conversations with friends, Riley allegedly admitted that she often felt like an afterthought in her mother's busy life. While Kandi was running businesses, filming shows, managing music projects, and growing her empire, Riley was left in the background, sometimes spending long stretches of time with her grandmother in New York. Those separations shaped her childhood. They left her feeling like she had a mother who was present for the cameras but absent in private moments. To the outside world, Riley seemed to have everything: luxury, opportunities, fame by association. But to Riley, she lacked the one thing she wanted most: her mother's full attention. And let's be real, this revelation doesn't just affect Kandi's family image. It could shake her entire career. Because Kandi's brand has always been about being a strong mother, a family woman, and someone who balances it all. But Riley's words cracked that image wide open. Even more surprising, this story isn't just about a mother-daughter bond being tested. It also touches on other family dynamics, like Riley's complicated relationship with her stepfather, Todd Tucker. Fans who watched the show know Todd as Kandi's husband and business partner. But to Riley, Todd's presence made her feel even more excluded. According to whispers, she saw him as more than just a stepdad. He was her mother's partner in business, in love, and in life. And in that equation, Riley felt like there was no room left for her. Reports claim Riley even stumbled across financial documents and overheard conversations that made her uneasy: talks about money transfers and business ventures. Nothing illegal was proven, but to Riley, it felt like another reminder that she didn't fully belong in her mother's world. Imagine being a teenager, already struggling to feel seen, and then feeling like your mother's new family and business empire were replacing you. That's the pain Riley carried, and that's the pain she hinted at in her post. What makes this even more powerful is the fact that insiders have said for years that production teams cut out some of Riley's rawer moments on the show. Tearful conversations. Awkward silences. Anything that didn't fit the narrative of Kandi being the perfect mom. Those edits kept viewers from seeing the real tension that was happening behind closed doors. Now, Riley's voice is breaking through all of that. Her message wasn't just a random rant. It was intentional. It was years in the making. And it was a warning that more may be coming. Because let's be honest, this doesn't feel like the end. Riley's post felt like the opening chapter of a much bigger story. And fans can't help but wonder if she plans to reveal even more, maybe in an interview, maybe in a book, maybe in a sit-down where she finally tells everything she's been holding back. If that happens, the consequences could be massive. Not just for Kandi's reputation, but for the entire way people view reality TV families. Think about it. For years, viewers have been fed the polished version of events, carefully edited to create storylines that sell. But Riley is proof that behind those storylines, there are real kids, real emotions, and sometimes real pain. Her courage to speak out is forcing people to look at Kandi differently, not just as a star, but as a mother who may have sacrificed too much at home in order to succeed in the spotlight. And that's why this story isn't just about drama. It's about truth. It's about a young woman daring to step out of her mother's shadow and tell the world how she really feels. The internet is buzzing with anticipation. Everyone is waiting to see what Riley says next. Will she reveal details about her childhood that were hidden from the cameras? Will she share what really went on in the Burruss-Tucker household? Will she confirm that her post was aimed at her mother, or leave it as an open mystery? Right now, no one knows for sure. But one thing is certain: Riley's voice is out there now, and it cannot be silenced again. For years, people thought they were watching the full story of Kandi's life on television. But Riley's post proved that what we saw was just the surface. Behind the lights, the fame, and the money, there was a daughter struggling to be seen. And now that her truth has started to spill out, nothing will ever look the same again. Fans are sitting at the edge of their seats, waiting for Riley's next move. The question on everyone's mind is simple but heavy: what will she do now? Will she reveal everything she has kept hidden for years, or will she leave people with nothing but speculation? Each day that passes only adds more tension. And the truth is, this storm is far from over. This is not just another family argument that will quietly fade away. Riley's cryptic post and her silence afterward have set something much bigger into motion. People are beginning to realize that this story is no longer about a disagreement between a mother and daughter. It is about power, image, and the empire that Kandi Burruss has carefully built for decades. Riley's words have the potential to shake the very foundation of that empire. Here's where it gets even more startling. What if Riley knows far more than anyone realizes? What if she has been paying attention, quietly watching, quietly collecting, and simply waiting for the right moment to speak her truth? The possibility that Riley has evidence, memories, or even recordings of what really goes on behind closed doors is enough to make the entertainment world hold its breath. Insiders are already whispering that Riley may not stop at social media hints. Rumor has it she could be considering something bigger: a candid memoir, a sit-down interview with a major platform, or even a raw conversation on shows like The Breakfast Club or The Jason Lee Show. If that happens, the world won't just get fragments of her story, they'll get the full picture. And from what Riley herself has hinted, the truth won't be pretty. It may be one of the most shocking revelations reality television has ever seen. But what exactly could she reveal? That's the chilling part. In her now deleted post, Riley suggested that she has seen things she'll never unsee. Those words weren't chosen lightly. People close to the Burruss family believe Riley wasn't just talking about arguments or family tension. They believe she was pointing to something much deeper: private behaviors, financial dealings, or conflicts that were never meant to be exposed. Imagine being a child and witnessing battles between your mother and stepfather that never made it to the cameras. Imagine overhearing conversations about money, business deals, or decisions that no one outside the family was ever supposed to know. Riley may have seen all of that, and now she seems ready to bring it to light. The speculation grows heavier when you consider Riley's recent behavior online. Fans notice that she has quietly unfollowed certain family members, posted vague captions, and left subtle clues suggesting that she's holding back secrets. To many, it feels like Riley is sending her mother a warning: I know more than you think, and I'm not staying quiet anymore. If that's true, then this isn't just a young woman venting her frustrations. This is Riley taking control of her own story after years of being overshadowed by her mother's fame. And if she truly does choose to go public in a bigger way, the consequences will be massive. It won't just affect her personal relationship with Kandi. It could impact Kandi's entire career, her standing in the entertainment world, and even her place on Bravo's Real Housewives of Atlanta. The show thrives on drama, but this kind of drama could permanently damage the Burruss family's reputation. Will fans turn against Kandi if Riley shares her truth? Will sponsors and networks distance themselves from her brand? Or will the public see this as a painful but necessary conversation between a mother and daughter who have been carrying unspoken wounds for far too long? Those are the questions everyone is asking. Because when secrets are buried for years, the explosion that follows is never small. Riley's words already revealed cracks in the perfect picture that Kandi has worked so hard to present. But if Riley decides to go all the way, those cracks could widen until the entire image falls apart. And yet, beneath all the speculation, this is still a story about family. About a daughter who felt invisible and a mother who may not have realized just how much her absence was felt. The world sees Kandi as a powerhouse, but Riley has seen her as a mother first, and that's where the real pain lies. If Riley's truth fully comes out, will their bond survive? Or will one of reality TV's most famous families break apart for good? That is the haunting question lingering in the air. Right now, Riley's tale is unfinished. The first chapter has been written with that single post, but the next chapters could be even more explosive. Every fan, every blog, and every media outlet is watching, waiting, and bracing themselves for what comes next. Because eventually, the truth always comes out. And when it does, it changes everything. So as the world waits for Riley's next move, one question remains: What happens when the truth is no longer hidden? This story is just beginning. And no matter what side you're on, you can't look away. If you liked this breakdown, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a story. Celeb Nova will have it all covered for you. Thanks for watching, fam. Stay real, stay respectful in the comments, and remember, sometimes silence isn't peace, it's preparation. See y'all in the next video. This is Celeb Nova, where the drama ends and the truth begins.